Alrighty, so there's a couple of things that I wanted to go over, and we have a little bit of leaks that we can talk about really quickly. But yeah, I put out my Who Should You LR video this morning, and unfortunately, it is pretty much already outdated, which you hate to see it happen, but it is what it is. So I'm going to talk about the spoilers, the newest leaked festivals that we have, or festival character that we have going on. So if you don't want to be spoiled by that, I'm going to put timestamps down below. Feel free to skip over this part if you need to. But if you're new to the channel or anything, feel free to subscribe before you skip. And yeah, either way, let's talk about this thing. So I'm hoping that you have hopefully skipped by now. Let's look at the leaks. So 7DS Leaks has confirmed that he found these files in the game files with the newest update, and so it is looking like it is going to be a Queen Elizabeth for the festival. There were a couple of people telling me, like, hey, you know, with LR Margaret coming out, I kind of hope it's a festival goddess character. I was not really sure if that was even a possibility. I think a lot of people were sort of dead set on it becoming Chaos Arthur. I have to admit, I think Chaos Arthur would have been a little bit more interesting, but I'm actually not going to hate. I think that the Goddess team is really fun to play and stuff like that, so hopefully this will be a DPS Elizabeth, kind of like maybe Light Elizabeth, but hopefully better, and she doesn't take so much build-up, and she will be fun to play at the very least. I know that a lot of people end up like seeing leaks for characters, and they're like, this is so stupid, I'm done, I don't even care about this, I wanted this character, whatever the case may be, but I wouldn't count her out until you've actually at least seen her in game, seen what she does. You know, some of her stuff could be very, very good. So we'll see how it goes. Because I think one of the biggest things is like not necessarily like the hype around the character, but how the character performs for me is a big defining factor on whether or not I'm actually excited over the character. So obviously, you know, like I said, people really wanted Chaos Arthur. I think the only thing this changes for my LR list is, if you really want to dive straight into the goddess meta, you definitely could prioritize Margaret at this point. I still stand by the fact that her boosts are not super meaningful, so hopefully, you know, as the meta sort of shifts and stuff like that, she will actually be good. Maybe this character will make her really, really good. But overall, I still kind of stand by the fact that I think they should have done a different goddess. I think they could have waited and gave her a bigger boost. But now that it's basically confirmed that it's going to be a goddess meta, you could definitely sort of just like lean straight into it, go straight for her. I personally do think that I get more use out of, you know, Escanor and stuff like that, but I would imagine this is going to be a character, like the LR Margaret is going to be a character that I will use in PvP. I think because I have Summer Margaret already for the Nidhogg team, I doubt I will use LR Margaret for that. Maybe the new game mode would be more helpful for like LR Margaret or something like that. But then again, like I just don't see me using her PvE-wise as much as I already use like Escanor, for example, because that seems to be the most common when people are like, oh, should I get Escanor or should I get Margaret? I personally think I use Escanor more. But anyway, we're going to not talk about the leaks anymore. The only thing that is funny is that 7K Dreamer Plays came into the stream last night, and he was telling me that some people were assuming or guessing that it was going to be an Elizabeth because some of the like cover, these little like banner things are actually like a lot of them have Elizabeth in them. So you can see this one right here with the SSR ticket has her. For Bartra's birthday, it has her, which I think that one's pretty self-explanatory. It is her daughter. But down here also we have the 4.5-year anniversary one, which has Elizabeth and Hawk together. I think a lot of people probably just kind of like glossed over that, not expecting it to go like anywhere, but definitely kind of interesting. I don't know if that was supposed to be a teaser or if they were just actually using her in the art because, you know, whatever, but it is kind of funny nonetheless. So the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the free banner. I have not made a video on this just yet, but it is coming out with the next global update. They have it on JP as of today, and it looks fantastic. So it is basically going to be 10 days worth of free tickets. Each ticket is a multi-summon, not a single, and this is the banner lineup. You have a lot of really great characters in here. You have a Red Tarmiel in here, you have Freyr in here, you have, you know, great, you know, backliners and stuff like that, and you also have Jelly King. He seems to be the one that a lot more people are excited about, and I can understand why. A lot of the times whenever you summon, you know, you gotta go pretty crazy on the November and the New Year's festivals, and most of the time you're pretty tapped out by the time the Valentine's Day festival or Valentine's Day banners come around. So because he was a Valentine's Day unit, a lot of people don't have him, weren't able to summon for him, whatever the case may be. Honestly, he was really good in this most recent season of Chaos PvP. other than that, he's really not that good. He's not going to be great in the normal meta all year around or anything like that. If there's some sort of like special thing that happens, or maybe we get some fairy support in the future, kind of doubt it. Then he could potentially be okay in the regular meta, but the only time that I've even been able to really get use out of him is during Chaos battles, so do take that into consideration. I personally think that grabbing an extra dupe of Freyr or even Tarmiel, if you don't have those two 6/6, would probably be the better choice, but if you don't have a character at all, you cannot use them, so I do stand by the fact that even a 1/6 character is better than not having one at all. So there are a couple of free rewards here, and one of the biggest things is you get free characters at certain steps. One of the biggest ones is that you get a red Magelda for free. She was a character that a lot of people skipped, didn't realize was going to be actually pretty decent and helpful. So she's now going to be completely free if you're playing during this time period, and you also get a free Matrona, another one of these green Arthur copies, which is cool. And then at step 10, you actually get to choose a character from the banner. So even if you don't pull Jelly King or Freyr or Tarmiel or whoever you're wanting to grab out of the banner itself, you can guarantee yourself a copy of them once you do the last multi, which is really, really huge. So that's awesome. Very happy about that. So other than that, the other thing that I wanted to talk about was the banner vote. The Sacred Treasure podcast has already posted something on Twitter kind of showing all of the choices that you can use. I actually have them pulled up on my phone right now, so I'm going to tell you who I voted for. I don't necessarily think that you should vote for the same characters that I'm voting for, because realistically, I think a lot of people, or like content creators and stuff like that, are like, oh, you have to summon for this character. You know, this character has to make it onto the banner to make this the best it could possibly be. But realistically, when it comes down to it, you need different things than someone else does. So vote for characters that you need, and if there's enough like-minded people who need that character as well, they'll make it into the banner, and you know those people will be happy about it. So I mean, it doesn't really matter to me who you vote for. I have all the characters already. I'm not going to try to influence you. That seems really stupid. So, for me personally, I voted for Transcendent Bond because I only have him 1/6 and he is very helpful in certain scenarios. I voted for Mael because I have him 4/6, and if I can get him 5/6 or higher, then I can start putting great debuffs on Nidhogg, which is really nice. And for my other vote, I actually went for Ultimate Escanor just because he has so many, like, his final flame stacks are so good that it's kind of hard for me not to try and want to get extra copies of him. Obviously, Trader Meliodas can be good and stuff like that as well, and you could maybe go for extra copies of him. I don't think his ultimate necessarily scales as crazy. He does get the sort of like gray damage cap buff sort of applied to him and everything, which can be kind of cool, but more often than not, if you can get true magic like procced and use his ultimate, he's probably going to one-shot anyway. It's not going to be that big of a deal. His mechanic stuff isn't nearly as like pay to win as like Escanor, for example, or Bonds is pretty pay to win, for example. The one unfortunate part here is that Margaret is actually not even on the lineup, which is very unfortunate. I'm kind of hoping at the very least that you'll be able to trade coins for her in the coin shop whenever this update comes out. I'm not 100% sure, but I would assume she may be in there. But this isn't necessarily like, I don't think this is getting branded as like a what do they call them? The demon and goddess ones. I can't remember anymore for some reason, but this isn't a holy war festival, I don't think. So I'm not 100% sure which characters they're planning on throwing into the coin shop, but if I could trade coins for her, that would be great. I have 2 coins at the moment, so if I could pull an extra coin from somebody that I maybe already have 6/6 or whatever, could happen, but light and dark coins can't be traded, so I don't know, maybe. We'll see how it goes. The regular normal heroes that I chose, actually, there are some decent choices in here. You can see that we do have Tyr down here. There's a red Magelda. We have Freya, red Freya, and green Freya is also on here. Green Freya is right here. I actually voted for Scotty because I have just terrible luck pulling Scotty in general, so I wanted to grab some extra copies of her if possible. I voted for the, crazy Roxy because she's just insane, and having her extra Unity stuff can be great. And I went for red Freya because I figure a lot of people need her, and I also only have her 4/6, so if I can get her 6/6, the Abyss effect will be even better. And she's the one that I prefer to use on Nidhogg. I don't really ever use the green one, to be be honest with you, so it doesn't really matter to me or not whether I pull that character. I voted for Tyr because I have him 4/6 as well, so maxing him out would be nice for the Unity effect, and he's obviously just a really good character, so people are probably going to get some good use out of him. And then the other one that I voted for was Summer Margaret, because I personally don't need her anymore. I know that a lot of you guys probably do. I would imagine people are probably going to vote for her since she is the Nidhogg exclusive character, and she's a seasonal, which makes her a little bit rarer to get. But I guess if I can pull extra copies of her, that will be nice. Maybe I could get, if I end up pulling enough copies of her, which would be very hilarious to me, I could use her for my Grace unit instead of the Blue Margaret, but obviously with the Blue Margaret getting the LR, she'd have much better stats, so I would like to try to get copies of that one if possible, but I know that a lot of people need her. I wouldn't mind having extra copies of her for my Nidhogg team, I guess, and honestly, the rest of these I don't really need. I guess if I wasn't going to vote for her, maybe I'd go for Green Ludo, and that sounds like a really stupid choice, but with the Goddess meta coming up potentially, we might actually end up having a decent use case for him. So that is pretty much it for the banner vote and everything. Hopefully you guys are having a wonderful Thanksgiving. Very unfortunate that I made that video this morning and it literally got outdated immediately. But hey, oh, another thing to note is that you can only vote on this banner one time. There are no like additional votes per day or anything like that. So do be careful in the fact that you don't want to make these choices the ones that you actually want. You don't get to vote again or anything. So yeah, do be careful, I guess. So either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Hopefully you have a wonderful holiday. And yeah, I think we will be back with regular sort of videos tomorrow. So see you then. Subscribe.